On a bright, sunny day, Earth was alive with activity. Children laughed as they played in the parks, people hurried to work, and birds chirped happily in the trees. In the bustling city of New York, a brave soldier named Alex Thompson was getting ready for his day. He was known for his courage and quick thinking. Meanwhile, Dr. Emma Reed, a clever scientist, was working in her lab, focused on her latest project. Little did they know that an evil plan was brewing far beyond the stars. In a dark corner of the galaxy, the Zolthar Empire, led by the arrogant Emperor Krithos, was watching Earth with greedy eyes. The Zolthars were known for their advanced technology and ruthless conquests. They believed that humans were weak and easy to conquer. Emperor Krithos gathered his advisors in a dimly lit chamber, a sinister smile on his face. "Prepare the fleet," he commanded. "Today, we will show Earth the power of the Zolthar Empire." Back on Earth, the sun shone bright as the morning continued. Suddenly, the sky darkened as massive alien ships descended. These ships were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. They were enormous, metallic, and menacing, with bright red lights flashing ominously. Panic spread through the streets as people looked up in fear. "What is happening?" Alex shouted, his heart racing as he rushed outside. He saw the ships hovering above, casting huge shadows on the ground. Dr. Emma, looking out from her lab window, felt her stomach drop. She realized that this was no ordinary day. An invasion was taking place. The Zolthars unleashed a wave of destructive energy from their ships, targeting key cities around the world. Explosions rocked the ground as buildings crumbled and fires erupted everywhere. People screamed and ran for cover, trying to escape the chaos. The soldiers and police fought back, but they were no match for the advanced alien technology. As news reports filled the airwaves with shocking images, the leaders of the world gathered in emergency meetings. They understood that this was a fight for survival. In a secure bunker, generals and politicians argued over what to do next. "We need to unite our forces," a general shouted, slamming his fist on the table. "We can't let them take our planet!" Alex and Dr. Emma watched the chaos unfold on TV, their hearts heavy with fear and determination. Alex looked at Emma, his eyes filled with resolve. "We can't just sit here and do nothing. We have to fight back!" Emma nodded, her mind racing with ideas. "I've been working on a new weapon that could disable their technology. If we can just get close enough, then we need to gather a team and plan an attack," Alex said, his voice firm. "We have to show them that humans are not as weak as they think." With their minds set, Alex and Emma reached out to military leaders and scientists across the globe. They formed a coalition, pooling resources and knowledge. The message was clear: Earth would not surrender. In the days that followed, cities became battlegrounds, with people joining the fight in whatever way they could. Ordinary citizens turned into heroes. They helped each other, providing shelter and food to those in need. Engineers and mechanics worked tirelessly to repair damaged equipment and develop new weapons. As night fell, Alex and Emma organized a secret meeting at an abandoned warehouse. The room was filled with determined faces. Everyone understood the importance of their mission. Emma presented her plans for the new weapon, explaining how it could disrupt the alien ship's systems. "This is our chance to fight back," she exclaimed, her voice echoing in the dim light. "If we can disable their ships, we can turn the tide of this battle." Hope began to flicker in the hearts of those gathered. They knew the odds were against them, but the fire of resistance burned bright. As they made their plans, Alex felt a surge of determination. They were not just fighting for their lives, they were fighting for their planet, their families, and their future. The invasion had begun, but so had humanity's response. They would not go down without a fight. The time for action was near, and Earth was ready to show the Zolthar Empire that humans were far from weak. They were strong, united, and willing to stand against any foe. The chaos of the invasion shook the world to its core. Cities lay in ruins, and fear gripped the hearts of people everywhere. Yet amidst the destruction, a new spirit began to rise. Humans realized they had to come together to fight back against the Zolthar Empire. In the aftermath of the first attack, news spread quickly. People from all corners of the globe watched the horrors unfold on their screens. But rather than lose hope, many were inspired to take action. Ordinary citizens banded together, forming groups to help those in need. Neighbors who had never spoken before now shared food and offered shelter to those affected by the alien strikes. Alex Thompson and Dr. Emma Reed worked tirelessly to rally support. They traveled from one city to another, speaking to anyone who would listen. They explained the need for unity, urging people to fight for their homes and families. "We are stronger together," Alex shouted at a rally in the city square, his voice echoing among the crowd. "If we stand as one, we can push the Zalthars back." The message resonated. People began to join their cause, bringing skills from every walk of life. Farmers, teachers, engineers, and doctors all came together to fight for Earth. They organized meetings in basements, community centers, and parks, sharing ideas and forming plans. One evening, Emma hosted a gathering at a local school. The room was packed with eager faces, all ready to help. "We need to prepare for another attack," she said, standing at the front. "I've been working on a weapon that can disrupt the aliens' technology. We need volunteers to help build it." Hands shot up in the air. A mechanic named Jake, with grease-stained hands and a determined look, spoke up. "I can help with that. I know how to fix machines. We can make it stronger." An artist named Maria added, "I can design the blueprints. I might not be a soldier, but I can contribute." Excitement filled the room as people offered their skills. From electricians who could wire the new weapon to volunteers who could gather supplies, everyone found a way to help. The sense of unity grew stronger each day, bringing hope to those who had once felt helpless. As the team worked, they faced many challenges. The Zalthars continued their assaults, and the situation grew dire. But with each setback, humans proved their resilience. They adapted quickly, learning from their mistakes and pushing forward. If one plan failed, they brainstormed new ideas, refusing to give up. With time, their efforts began to pay off. Emma's weapon, now dubbed the Pulse Disruptor, was taking shape. It was a large device that could emit powerful waves to disable alien technology, giving human forces a chance to fight back. In the meantime, military leaders devised a strategy for the upcoming battle. They planned to coordinate an attack on the Zalthar outpost that had caused so much destruction. Alex was chosen to lead the ground forces. As he prepared for the mission, he felt a mix of excitement and fear. "This is our chance," he told his team as they gathered for a briefing. "We've trained hard, and now we need to show the aliens that we are not afraid. We will fight for our planet." The night before the mission, a sense of determination filled the air. Many gathered to share stories, laugh, and bond. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for each other. The human spirit shone brightly, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. As dawn broke, the team set out for the alien outpost. Their hearts were full of courage, and their minds focused on the task ahead. The Pulse Disruptor was ready, and so were they. Together, they felt invincible. United by a common cause, the people of Earth prepared to face their enemies. They knew the fight would not be easy, but they also knew they would not be alone. Humanity had united, and they were ready to show the Zalthar Empire just how strong they could be. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and this time, humans were prepared to strike back. The sun rose on a day that would change everything. Earth was ready for battle, and the air was thick with tension. After weeks of preparation, the united forces of humanity gathered for their first major offensive against the Zalthar Empire. Alex Thompson stood with his team looking out at the horizon. He could see the alien outpost in the distance, its dark towers piercing the sky like claws ready to strike. "Today is the day we show the Zalthars that we are not afraid," Alex said, his voice steady. The soldiers nodded, determination shining in their eyes. They had trained hard, and now it was time to put their plans into action. Meanwhile, Dr. Emma Reed stood with the engineers who had worked tirelessly on the Pulse Disruptor. "This is it," she said, adjusting her glasses. "If we can disable their technology, we will have a fighting chance." The team was nervous but excited. They had poured their hearts into this weapon, and now it would be put to the test. As they approached the outpost, the ground shook beneath them. The Zalthar ships hovered above, dark clouds swirling around them. The alien forces were more massive than anyone had expected. The soldiers felt a shiver run down their spines, but Alex reminded them, "Stay focused. Remember what we are fighting for!" With a signal from Alex, the attack began. Soldiers charged forward, weapons raised high, while Emma and her team activated the Pulse Disruptor. A bright beam of energy shot into the sky, striking one of the Zalthar ships. For a moment, everything fell silent. The energy rippled through the air, and then, boom! The alien ship began to tremble, lights flickering wildly. The Zalthars were caught off guard. Their advanced technology was being disrupted, and their coordination broke down. "It's working!" Emma shouted, exhilarated. The humans cheered as they saw the first sign of victory. As the battle raged on, Alex led his team into the heart of the Zolthar outpost. They moved with purpose, dodging energy blasts and working together as a well-oiled machine. The soldiers were no longer just individuals. They were a united force. Suddenly, the ground erupted as a Zolthar soldier charged at Alex. In a split second, he dove to the side, narrowly avoiding the alien's grasp. With a quick motion, he turned and fired, hitting the Zolthar square in the chest. The alien fell to the ground, its weapon clattering away. "Stay sharp," Alex called to his team. "We can't let our guard down!" As they pushed deeper into the outpost, the humans faced fierce resistance. Zolthar soldiers emerged from the shadows, their eyes glowing with anger. But humanity had come too far to back down now. Each soldier fought bravely, inspired by the sacrifices of those who had come before them. Meanwhile, Emma kept an eye on the pulse disruptor, ensuring it remained operational. She noticed that the device was draining faster than she had anticipated. "We need more power," she yelled to her team. Quick-thinking engineers quickly rigged a solution, using spare parts to boost the energy output. Just as they finished, a huge Zolthar warship began to descend toward their position, ready to retaliate. Emma's heart raced, but she knew they had to act fast. "Now!" she shouted. "Fire the pulse disruptor again!" The beam shot forth more powerful than before. It struck the warship, causing it to spin wildly in the air. The Zolthar forces were in disarray. The tide of the battle was turning, and hope surged among the humans. As they pushed forward, Alex spotted a group of civilians trapped inside the outpost. Without hesitation, he signaled his team to follow him. They fought through the Zolthar defenses, determined to save those who needed help. "We can't leave anyone behind!" Alex shouted, leading the charge. Together, they freed the civilians, who looked at their rescuers with wide eyes. "You came for us?" one woman asked, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. "Of course," Alex replied, a smile breaking through his focus. "We're all in this together." With the civilians safe, the team regrouped and continued the fight. The Zolthar Empire was beginning to falter. The humans had struck a blow that would not be forgotten. As the battle raged on, it became clear that today was the turning point in the war. The Zolthars had underestimated humanity's strength and resilience. United in their fight, the humans would not be defeated. They were ready to reclaim their planet, and with every victory, they proved that they were far more powerful than the arrogant alien rulers had ever imagined. The battle raged on as humanity fought against the Zolthar Empire. After a hard-fought victory at the outpost, the humans regrouped and prepared for the final stand. They had pushed back the Zolthar forces, but the enemy was still strong, and their warships loomed ominously in the sky. Alex Thompson gathered his team. "This is it," he said, his voice steady. "We've come too far to stop now. We have to take the fight to their main ship. If we can disable it, we can turn the tide of this war once and for all." The soldiers cheered, determination shining in their eyes. They were no longer just a collection of individuals. They were a united force ready to fight for their home. Emma Reed stood beside Alex, her face determined. "We have to make sure the pulse disruptor is ready. If we hit their command ship with everything we have, we can break their control over the other Zolthar forces." As the team prepared, Emma and her engineers worked quickly to enhance the pulse disruptor. They added more power cells and reinforced its structure. They knew this would be their most significant chance to strike a decisive blow against the Zolthar Empire. With their plan in place, Alex led the charge toward the Zolthar command ship. The sky was filled with the sounds of battle. The crackle of energy weapons, the roar of explosions, and the cries of soldiers fighting for their lives. "Stay together!" Alex shouted as they navigated through the chaos. "We need to reach that ship." As they approached the command ship, they encountered fierce resistance. Zolthar soldiers poured from the ship, their eyes burning with fury. "We will not let you pass!" one of the aliens bellowed, raising its weapon. Alex and his team fought valiantly, using every tactic they had learned. They moved as one unit, covering each other's backs and pushing forward. The Zolthars were formidable opponents, but the humans were fueled by desperation and hope. Just as they reached the entrance of the command ship, a massive explosion rocked the ground. "We need to move now!" Emma yelled, her voice cutting through the noise. They rushed inside, taking cover from the chaos outside. Inside the command ship, the atmosphere was tense. The walls were lined with advanced alien technology, blinking lights and screens displaying real-time battle data. Alex pointed to a central console. That's where we need to hit. If we can disable their systems, we can gain control of their ships. With Emma's help, they began to set up the pulse disruptor near the console. Hurry! She urged, her hands moving quickly as she adjusted the settings. Meanwhile, Zalthar guards stormed the room, their faces twisted in rage. You cannot take our ship, one shouted, raising its weapon to fire. Alex acted on instinct, diving in front of Emma and returning fire. The soldiers exchanged shots, the room filled with flashes of light and sound. We can't let them stop us, he yelled, focused on his goal. Emma finally finished setting up the pulse disruptor. It's ready, but we have to get it to the right frequency, she shouted. The pressure was mounting as they battled the Zalthar guards. With a final push, Alex and his team managed to clear the area. They stood around the pulse disruptor, which began to hum with energy. Now, Emma called, adjusting the settings one last time. The device glowed brightly, sending a wave of energy through the ship. Alarms blared as the Zalthar technology began to fail. Screens flickered, and the ship shook violently. It's working! Alex shouted, adrenaline coursing through him. Outside, the tide of battle began to shift. The Zalthar ships started to malfunction, losing their ability to communicate with one another. The humans were gaining the upper hand. Let's finish this! Alex yelled, charging forward. They moved to the control center of the command ship, ready to deliver the final blow. As they reached the main control panel, the ship erupted in chaos. Zalthar soldiers flooded in, but the humans fought with a new resolve. The final stand was theirs to take. In a moment of pure determination, Alex pressed a button on the control panel. This is for Earth, he shouted. A surge of energy erupted from the ship, sending a shockwave through the skies. The Zalthar command ship exploded in a brilliant flash, scattering debris and smoke across the battlefield. Victory was within reach, but the humans knew they had to keep fighting. They had faced their darkest hour and emerged united, ready to reclaim their planet from the clutches of the Zalthar Empire. The final stand had begun, and the humans were prepared to face whatever came next. The sun set over the battlefield, casting a golden light on the ruins of the Zalthar command ship. The air was thick with smoke, and the remnants of the fierce struggle that had taken place. Alex Thompson stood among his fellow soldiers, catching his breath and surveying the scene. They had won the battle, but the cost was high. Many brave souls had fought and fallen to protect their home. As the dust settled, the remaining humans began to regroup. Emma Reed rushed to Alex's side, her face flushed with adrenaline. We did it! We actually did it! She exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with disbelief. Alex smiled, feeling a rush of hope. Yes, but we need to stay alert. The Zalthar Empire won't give up easily. A sense of unity filled the air as the soldiers shared stories of bravery. They hugged each other, grateful to be alive. However, in the back of their minds, they knew the war was far from over. The Zalthar Empire was vast, and this victory, while important, was just the beginning. Days passed, and the humans began to organize. They set up camps to care for the wounded and to plan their next steps. Alex took on a leadership role, helping to coordinate efforts. He was determined to keep everyone focused and motivated. One evening, as the stars twinkled above, the leaders gathered to discuss their future. Emma stood at the front, holding a map of the Zalthar Empire. If we want to win this war, we need to strike hard and fast. The longer we wait, the stronger they will become. The others nodded in agreement, but some voices were filled with doubt. But how can we fight against their entire fleet? One soldier asked, his voice trembling. Alex stepped forward, confidence radiating from him. We've already proven that we can take down their command ship. If we work together and use our strengths, we can defeat them. We can disrupt their systems, just like we did before. This time, we will hit them where it hurts the most. The room filled with murmurs of agreement. They had learned to believe in themselves and in each other. A sense of determination ignited among the leaders. They spent hours strategizing and forming alliances with other nations that had suffered under the Zalthar Empire. As dawn broke, the camp buzzed with energy. Soldiers trained harder than ever, and engineers worked tirelessly to improve their technology. Emma and her team developed new weapons and upgraded the pulse disruptor. We need to be ready for anything, she told her fellow scientists, determination etched on her face. Meanwhile, Alex reached out to other countries. uniting humanity in the fight against their common enemy. The world was rallying, and news of their victory spread like wildfire. People from every corner of the Earth offered their support, eager to stand together against the Zalthar threat. The humans knew that this was not just about winning a battle, it was about reclaiming their freedom and protecting their way of life. With each passing day, they grew stronger and more resolute. Finally, the time came to launch their next offensive. Alex stood before the assembled soldiers, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for every person on this planet," he declared, his voice steady. "We will show the Zalthar Empire that humanity will not back down. We are strong, we are united, and we will prevail." The soldiers cheered, their spirits lifted. They boarded their ships, ready to take the fight to the Zalthar Empire once more. As they soared into the sky, Alex looked out at the horizon, feeling a sense of hope. As they approached the Zalthar territory, a message from the enemy came through. "Humans, you will pay for your insolence!" It echoed, filled with anger and pride. Alex's heart raced, but he held his ground. "Let them come," he whispered to himself. He knew they were ready. The humans had fought hard and had proven their worth. They would face the Zalthar Empire with courage and determination. The battle that lay ahead would be fierce, but Alex believed in his people. This was not just a fight for survival, it was the dawn of a new beginning for humanity. They would rise, united against their foes, and fight for the future they deserved. As the ships prepared for battle, a new light began to shine in the hearts of every soldier. They were no longer just defending their planet, they were creating a legacy of strength, unity, and resilience. The humans would stand tall against any threat, proving to the universe that they were more than capable of fighting for their future.